Today is about speaking up for yourself. This is something that you told me that you would love to have some key takeaways or a skill around this. Often when we're in systems where there is an unhealthy system or challenging dynamics, our voices feel more and more diminished. This is around finding and starting to flex that muscle again, because when you do, you start to feel a bit more confident. So what are those takeaways, Norma? Let's get straight into it. So the first one is, are you right sizing yourself? Have you made yourself too small or even perhaps too big in this situation? Are you the right size within the space and system that you're about to speak in? You'll know, because if you are overwhelmed with tasks and it's all on you and you feel responsible for everyone and everything, then sometimes you might be a little bit too big. And equally, if you're feeling quiet and you have to hide and perhaps you've made yourself too small, this is probably in relation to another person or a place. How about finding some tools to right size yourself and make yourself the appropriate size that you can start using your voice? It is so important to right size yourselves. Second one up, start to get really clear on what you want. And it's not just speaking for the sake of speaking, right? So we all know the person that speaks the loudest and takes over meetings perhaps at work, but they're actually not saying anything of use to the people there. Let's get really clear on what you want to say and how you might want to say it. And the shorter and the more concise and more brief you can be, the clearer it is going to be for everyone. So again, going back to what is important, what point do you want to make? And get really clear. And the less words, if words cost you money, make sure that it's a really efficient budget and cut straight to the point. I am the world's worst for speaking sometimes unnecessarily. And even with these videos, it's been really great because I want to get to the point of what I want to say. So again, you can practice. You could even record yourself, have some time practicing what you want to say and making sure that you feel resourced and strong enough to say it. Next thing, observe what's going on in the dynamics of the room perhaps you're speaking in, or the system. Some of the things that are happening in that room are absolutely and utterly predated before you. In fact, although you might feel quite small or there's complex scenarios going on around you, a lot of those things happened way before your arrival. So don't make this about you necessarily, and more working with what you have to make sure that your voice is heard. So it's really, really important to observe what's the dynamics, know where you might feel safer with and who you might be able to speak to first if it's in fact using your voice in that system. And finally, this idea of taking steps to better, taking small actionable steps, whether it's weekly, daily, monthly. If you want to start using your voice gotta prove it. So you're starting small. I find, in places where I feel so overwhelmed that I start really small. It might be as simple as walking into the reception of a place. Maybe you're going for an interview, and it's just being human about it and saying hello and using your voice because you can hear yourself in those situations. So for you, your step to better is going to be different from anybody else's. So making sure you know what each day your step to better is and the opportunities that you might start small and build up incremental. So one day it might be speaking up in a meeting, and in 4 to 5 months time your goal might be to lead the meeting and generate all of that goodness that your voice will bring. So know what your steps to better are really day. So quick roundup, are you right sizing yourself? Have you a really clear, concise message of what you want to say and why you want to say it, and maybe even how? And then observe without personalising. There was something in that system that started long before you, and it's not your fault. Don't make it so much about you, but understand the dynamics at play within the system. And then finally, taking those small steps to better everyday actions, every week, every month, every quarter, knowing where you're building up that incremental muscle. I've talked about this in the context of work, but all those things can be taken in the context of family and more challenging environments where our voices are often diminished and we're playing too small or playing too big. So I hope you got something of use today, because I know this was a topic really close to your heart. Thanks so much for watching. See you soon.